Dear viewer, as you sit there, hopefully as uncomfortably as possible, hunched over watching me on the toilet, I hope you're listening, because I have a few things that I need to get off my chest.
Hello?
And welcome to Recon Wrestling. Okay, this week there's one thing that everyone's talking about in the world of wrestling, and feels only right that I throw my 2 cents in as well, because I released a video last week, and you can go and watch that right up here, about CM Punk and John Cena and my thoughts and general vibes about what I want from this feud. And I didn't really expect to get this, which was John Cena duping or doing an homage or doing his version of the famous CM Punk pipe bomb promo in 2011. So I just wanted to make a video just sort of going over my thoughts and my feelings, and that is this video that you're watching right now. Let's crack into it. Let's start things off at the start, the build up to this promo, and it is funny that we have all of these pieces in place that we had in place 14 years ago. You have John Cena, and you have R-Truth, aka Ron Killings, in a match, and CM Punk comes out, and instead of the same thing happening this time, CM Punk gets put through a table. John Cena grabs the mic and proceeds to cut a promo on him. And it's the little things. And it also, like, I haven't talked much about the R-Truth thing and whether I think it's a work or a shoot that he got let go from the company and then brought back. But I find it hard to believe that the trajectory of this story right now is happening in a way that it is with the pieces in place if R-Truth wasn't a part of that story. Now, this could have been something that was called completely on the fly at the last minute, going, oh, R-Truth, we brought him back into the company. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did XYZ with how the match sort of played out on SmackDown and then the promo following it. So this could have been a last minute audible, but I just find it really, really hard to believe with how they've been producing this feud that R-Truth hasn't been a part of the story and a part of the build for this the entire time, because it just works too well. It works way too well. It is shades of what happened 14 years ago, and we are just flipping the narrative. Now, the other thing I want to touch on before we get to the actual promo itself and my thoughts about it is just the internet just having a laugh at CM Punk selling in the ring for about 20 minutes, or it wasn't 20 minutes, like 8-9 minutes, sitting there just selling the table spot the entire time. Like the thing with the John Cena one 14 years ago was that CM Punk left the ring, went to the top of the ramp, and by the end of the promo, John Cena was kind of like propped up against the rope, just listening to what was going on. CM Punk just kind of had to sell the table the entire time, and it was just kind of funny. I just want to say that it was kind of funny that he had to sit there the entire time and sell a single table spot. That's it. That's it. All right, let's talk about this promo. I want to talk about a couple of things in particular. I want to talk about sort of the structure of it, and then some of the bits and pieces that a lot of people have been talking about and my thoughts on them and how I feel about the whole thing. First of all, it was structured pretty much exactly the same as the CM Punk one. Obviously, it is different in many, many cases, but the general beats that were hit were kind of the same. It's as you sit there, hopefully as uncomfortably as possible, yada, yada, yada. I have a lot of things I need to get off my chest, blah, 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 blah. And we get the point. We sort of see where this is going. And I do remember watching it for the first time as being like, holy shit, it's happening. This is actually goddamn happening. And now that I've had a few days to sort of reflect on it and go, okay, what are my thoughts really? What did this achieve? Did it get to the point that it needed to get to? And I think overarching point is, yes, it is selling the match they are going to have at Night of Champions this weekend. And that is the point of a promo, is to sell the match to the people. So it did its job. I am keen for this match. I was already keen for this match, but this just sort of tipped me over the edge as to be like, do you remember what it was like when these two went at each other in a promo battle? And I did mention that in my video last week. I wanted more out of this from an on-mic perspective. I am hoping that the resolution to this weekend, or this week, sorry, on Friday, is them going back and forth in a promo in the ring. Because the first couple of promos we had were CM Punk talking at Cena. This promo was Cena talking at CM Punk. We haven't really seen him go back and forth too much. So I'm hoping that is what we get before we get to Night of Champions, although this was a pretty good punctuation point. So if we don't get anything else, I shan't be too disappointed. I would just like one more sort of go around with these two guys, because this is it. This is the last time, realistically. I did say that I wanted to have them go a best of 3 kind of scenario. I don't think we're going to get that. which sucks, but you know, it is what it is. I want to see these two guys go at each other verbally one last time, sparring back and forth like a really good tennis match. The next big thing everyone is talking about is the call-outs. We had Claudio Castagnoli, we had Nick Nemeth, and we had Matt Cardona. Holy shit. Holy shit. I did not expect this. Now, a lot of talk online. Could have brought up Colt Cabana. Would have been a big pop. Would have been a big, oh shit, he just went there kind of moment. I don't feel this needed that. It would have been cool, don't get me wrong. But I feel like that whole relationship with CM Punk and Colt Cabana has fallen apart to the point where it wouldn't really mean anything. Like, it is doing the same thing. It's, hi, Colt Cabana, how you going? But it's doing it in a way that is different enough where it's just literally not retreading the exact same call out. You have Claudio, Cesaro, Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler, Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder. All people who both of these characters have, you know, clashed with at points in their career, mostly Cena, and most of them have found various successes outside of WWE. Whether Cena squashing them had any bearing on their character or their character development or how their character was portrayed in WWE, that's up for debate. It's a video for another time, essentially, but it was a cool call out in the sense that it put a shining light on these guys who are now with different promotions, not in WWE, and beyond just being like, oh, holy shit kind of moment that I can't believe they're doing this. And it was the same with Cena saying bullshit. Like, it gets the point across while also being quite shocking and being like, oh shit, this just happened kind of moment, but it did what it needed to do without being too over the top. And I feel like a Colt Cabana call out would have been just over the top. I'm glad with what I'm okay with what we got. It was cool. It was just kind of weird to have him literally reference someone that's in AEW as well. Like, obviously Nick Nemeth, Matt Cardona, both on the Indies / Nick Nemeth over in TNA, and WWE have that working partnership with TNA. But Claudio Castagnoli, Cesaro, is in AEW. That was a kind of wild call out. Now, the other route that a lot of people were kind of like expecting or wanted to happen was something to do with AEW outside of the Claudio call, anything to do with the Young Bucks, Jungle Boy, or Nick Khan, or just saying AEW in general, just saying, like, talking about the backstage fight. We kind of got an inkling of it there with Cena saying, I like you more than most people you've shared a locker room with. That felt like a little bit of a call out to CM Punk's attitude backstage at AEW, or his perceived attitude backstage at AEW at the time before his release, or he left, or whatever. So that was kind of like a tongue-in-cheek, just kind of wink wink, if you know you know kind of scenario. But then the call outs, we're literally calling out someone in AEW right now, just giving them a wave. Hello, how you going? You do good shit. So I am more than happy with what we got there. That was fine. I didn't need any more. I didn't need any less. I think it sort of hit the nail on the head perfectly with three names that they are kind of, if you know, names for people that are fans of the industry outside of the bubble of WWE. So I think, like I said, it got its point across without overstaying its welcome and being a little bit too cringe, which I feel like a Colt Cabana call out would have been. And I want to close this out with my general vibe on the promo as a whole. This feels like the most complete version of heel Cena we've gotten so far. It has been choppy, to say the least. Some promos have been great. Some promos have been not great. Some promos have been retreading the same shit over and over again. I'm going to ruin wrestling. I'm the greatest of all time. He did mention that sort of stuff here, but just his delivery, his demeanor, the way he went about it, just sitting up on the turnbuckle and delivering the promo down to Punk through the Slim Jim table, it felt natural. It felt cool. It felt dangerous. It felt like this is the heel version of Cena that we would have liked to have gotten in the lead up to WrestleMania, but he is clearly working on it and just evolving the character in time. Now, do I think his heel run is coming to an end soon? Kind of, yeah. I don't want it to be. I want it to go all the way through the end of the year, and then he like turns face at the last show in Boston, and then has one last promo on the Raw after that show the following night, or the night 2 nights later, and bows out as a heel. But I get the feeling that this is like, there was a few bits, like the smile right before him being like, they know, the people after he said I'm the greatest of all time, and the people chanting, yes you are, and chanting all this sort of stuff, and just that look on his face very, very briefly of just like, yeah. The people finally responding to him the way he always wanted to be responded to when he wanted that recognition of being one of the greatest to ever lace up the boots. And he is that. That is undoubtable at this point in his career. But we all know the reaction to John Cena has never always been universal one way or the other, praise or hatred. It has always been a split thing. So to have that entire crowd, even though they should be booing the guy, cheering the guy, I get the feeling like they can't keep this heel thing up for too much longer, and he's probably gonna drop the belt to Cody at SummerSlam, which I don't like, but I understand why we're getting there. And the little bit at the end where he's like, you know, the people in this arena already know it, but the feelings are starting to change. And that, again, just leads me to believe they're going down this path of we're going to turn him face soon, and he'll just get universal cheers the entire way through the last 6 months, or 5 months at that point, of his time in WWE. And we're going to have a big face run to finish off the year. Now, is that what I want to happen? No. If you're going to turn him heel, do it for the whole year. Stick to your guns and just ride it out and have him drop the belt on his last night and then pass the torch to the next person. It's going to be Cody Rhodes, and Cody should turn heel. That's just my little thing. But yeah, overall, I thought it was awesome. I marked out real hard. It was one of those things, like I said, kind of in the video last week, is that first promo between Punk and Cena. Punk referenced a lot of their previous promos, and it felt like a warm little hug, little promo hug to be like, I remember this. And this was kind of the same, but it was different enough, and it was from the different person just sort of doing his own version of that pipe bomb, that I was kind of like, this isn't necessarily the big promo hug, but it feels familiar enough, and it feels cool. And it's just like, it is the nostalgia thing just getting hit, just like that thing in your veins of just like, I remember this from when I was younger and things weren't as bad and the world wasn't falling apart around us. And it did that. And it made me forget about all that shit for a couple of seconds, and it was cool. And I appreciate that, WWE. Thank you very much. Thank you, John Cena. Thank you, CM Punk, for sitting in that table for a good 11 minutes, whatever it was, sitting there looking like an idiot. It was great. It was good stuff from start to finish. I enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to this match. I really hope we get all the storytelling bits and pieces we kind of expect from these two. And yeah, that's it. It was cool, and I enjoyed it. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day. But did you enjoy it? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching the video, especially if you made it all the way to the end. And as always, bye.